All right. Pretty disgusting day here in Lidditz, Pennsylvania, Lancaster County, PA. Thursday. I don't even know what day it is. It's the 28th of May, I think. Anyway, got off a little bit early because it's just I can't do much with my job outside, and that's okay. Every once in a while it happens, and you take the good with the bad. I have a lot to say about a lot of stuff. Topics I usually stay away from right now are just really just grilling at me. So they're boring a hole in me. If I like what I have to say, I'll post this. If I don't like what I have to say, then you're never going to see it, so it's not going to matter. This Floyd video, Mr. Floyd, I'm just going to say it's disgusting to me that law enforcement would do that to anybody. Those officers should have been fired. Those officers should be tried for murder. A couple of them should be tried for accessory to murder because they just stood there and let it happen. Disgusting. Just absolutely 100%. I don't care. It's an American. That's wrong. And angering as well. There's a lot happening right now that's angering. And I'm not trying to be flippant about that. If you really want to know how I feel, I'm going to give you a couple of websites to go look at. The Hodge twins pretty much say all I have to say. Candace Owens pretty much has said everything I need to say, and so has Officer Brandon Tatum. All three of those outlets, those three people, those three groups that I follow, I say groups because the Hodge twins are two of them. Terrence Williams, same thing. David Harris, same thing. They have said everything I need to say. So has Graham Allen. So if you want to know what those people are thinking, just go check them out. Some people, every one of them that I mentioned, I one day pray to God that I can shake their hands and talk to them and have a conversation. They're all black conservatives, and I love them. I love everything they put out. Hodge twins, if you can get past the language, if you can get past the Hodge twins language, you'll be good. I don't post a lot of their stuff on my wall because it's usually, anyway. I try not to, because I have a testimony to maintain. And now maybe my testimony is destroyed because I do watch the Hodge twins. My beard's driving me crazy right now. It's curly because it's so humid. Anyway, I'm not trying to flippantly get past that. But what happened to Mr. Floyd should never happen to anybody. But let me follow that up with this. The riots that are taking place right now in Minnesota, you think you're going to get justice by burning down a Target, stealing the largest televisions you can find, stealing money out of, you think that's going to bring you justice? Okay, I have no problem with protesting. If I was not working, I would be at every one of the protests that are happening here in Harrisburg. However, they are peaceful protests. There are ways to get things done. Acting as a bunch of thieves, that's not the way to get things done. But listen, I'm praying for all of the Christians that are out in Minnesota right now. I'm praying for all of my fellow believers that are out there. But what happened was wrong. Bottom line, no ifs, ands, or buts. It's just wrong. Another topic that I hesitated to talk about because I'm not a pastor. I am a former pastor. I'm a former youth pastor. I am ordained. I have grown up in the church. I'm 47 years old. I have been saved for 41 years of my life. I walked away from the Lord one time. If you know me, you know that story. You know my testimony, how I walked away from the Lord, and by His grace I am back serving Him to the best of my ability now, whether through music or through whatever other outlet I can be a mentor to younger Christians, being a voice of reason today. But that's where I am in my life right now. Please, my pastor friends, please understand I'm not angry at any of you. I'm angry how the church as a whole has handled this whole quote-unquote pandemic. And if you know me, I am at the point of I don't believe anything anybody tells me anymore. Just as a side note, Dr. Fauci came out today and said that the second wave of COVID-19 probably isn't going to happen and that masks are just symbolic. I'll let you let that sink in for a minute. He's not the only one that has said that. The governor of North Carolina has come out and said the same thing. Listen, I follow all this stuff. I follow it because of the tyranny that I am watching happen in our country. Tyranny against our churches, tyranny against our country. It's tyranny. What happened to Mr. Floyd? That was tyranny. That was people being afraid to speak up and say something to the police officers, which I don't know that I could have stood there and watched. I would have at some point put my camera down and been like, yo, can you help the guy out? Let him breathe. Let's what are you doing? And I probably would have been a lot more aggressive than I'm trying to be right now. This stuff angers me. What is happening, the tyrannical things that are happening, and this is all tied together. It is all tied together. Back to the church thing. Sorry. What are we doing with Hebrews 10:25? What are we doing with that verse? Basically, the Bible says, don't forsake the assembling of yourselves together, which is what we are doing right now. Then they had the president come out on Thursday or Friday last week and say, I want churches to be essential. And if there's not going to be, then there's going to be a problem. You'll have to deal with fallout from that. But I'm asking that the churches be essential. Then you have the governor, or not the governor, the mayor of Chicago. Now, again, I posted this last week. A couple people got upset with me and indirectly got upset with me. Their passive aggressiveness towards me posting that. I couldn't find exactly where that was said if the letter was not posted. Anyway, the report was that the mayor of Chicago basically came out and said, don't you dare try to open your doors on Sunday. If you don't, there's going to be hell to pay. Basically is what she said. So I didn't know whether to believe it or not. So I when I posted the video or posted the quote-unquote letter that was supposedly sent to the pastors and church leaders in Chicago, when I posted that, I had to basically go back and correct myself because I kind of posted it without any explanation at all, and then I had to go back and post the explanation. That is on my wall in Facebook. So what happens? Sunday, a church in downtown Chicago opens their doors. Now, they take security measures because it's Chicago. They take security measures, and once they feel that everybody's inside, apparently, I don't know how it works, but I know they close their doors when it's time for their services. They close their doors and they lock them so nothing can happen. Makes total sense to me. It absolutely, unfortunately, it makes sense. So what happens? Apparently, I think there were three police units that showed up. Two of them were unmarked, I believe. If I'm wrong, you get the point. Anyway, there were police units that showed up, banging on the door, trying to get into the church. Apparently, there to try to stop and disrupt the service. Apparently, what they wanted to do was get inside and see who was there. So, what did they do when they couldn't get in? They started to go around taking pictures of people's license plates. And we're waiting to take pictures of people that were coming in and out. They were coming out of the church and the services were over. If that's not a police state, I don't know what is. Why are we, as the church as a whole, why are we sitting back and not just opening our doors? Hebrews 10:25. Don't forsake the assembling of yourselves together. And here's my main argument. This is my argument. I haven't heard anybody else talk about this. Nobody. We have brothers and sisters in Jesus all over the world that are in communist countries, that are in countries where it is illegal to worship God. They are literally willing to die to go to church and to meet and to fellowship. What do? We sit back. We wring our hands. We try to figure out what does that mean? How can we open up? How can we do this? How can we There are churches, some of you, please do not think for 1 second that I hate anybody in this situation. I hate that our churches are not open. I hate that. But I don't hate anybody. Open the doors of the church. The president has come out in support of this. He's the president of the United States. People in Chicago open their doors. And now they're going to do it again. They're still going to go. And who knows what Mayor Lightfoot's going to do now. I don't think anything's going to happen here in Lancaster County with people opening the doors of their church. We can meet. You can meet. Give people the option. Open the doors of the church. Let people decide for themselves. Let them be responsible for themselves. And if your argument is, well, we can make other people sick, then why are we open during flu season? Why are we open during pneumonia season? Why are we opening during cold season? Let people make their choices. For the most part, America, we do look out for one another. For the most part, I'd say, for the most part, none of us wants anyone else to die. I'd say for the most part, we care about everybody else. Now, there are a few that don't, that are not wise. They go do things that they shouldn't do. But do we stop them from going outside? No, we don't. I sit here today. I'm aggravated about church. I'm an extrovert. I hug people. I shake hands. I'm not going to tell you who or how or why or what or when and where. I have seen people. I have been around people. I have hugged people, and they're not from my family. This whole mask thing. I'm going to tell you right now, and it may be petty. I'm not going to go to a church that requires me to wear a mask. I'm just not. But that's me taking responsibility for me. And that's not a matter of being stupid. That's not a matter of me wanting everybody to die, because I don't want anybody to die. And please, can we stop with that narrative? Because I don't wear a mask, I want everybody to die. Please stop. I can take responsibility for myself. When I go into a store, for the most part, I do wear a mask on the way in. I have a face shield. I don't wear a mask. I wear a face shield. And that face shield does literally nothing. But I have to put it on if I'm going to get through the door. For the most part, I take my face shield down when I'm walking around. I'm not going to wear a face shield into a church. I'm not going to wear a face shield walking around outside. It's just not going to happen. Think of me what you will. That's fine. God bless you. But these things this week are bugging the snot out of me. The tyranny that is taking place in this country right now. Where are the Americans? Why are we not standing up to these things? These officers in Minnesota, the book needs to be thrown at them, and then the book needs to be thrown away. I think they deserve the death penalty. That's just my opinion. For murder and accessory to murder. That's what I think needs to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. The tyranny that is taking place by people telling us in the United States of America that our country, founded on principles of the Word of God, we're not allowed to meet. But our churches, and we're all just sitting here saying, okay, I'm done. I will find a place where people are meeting. And that's me. You don't have to do what I'm going to do. And you can hate me all you want. That's fine. God bless you. You shouldn't hate. But these things that are happening to our police officers, from police officers, I think we're at about a 90-10 rate. There's about 90% of the cops are awesome people and want to do the right thing, and that's why they're officers. Then there's that 10% that you got to shake your head and you got to wonder, what the heck were they thinking? Again, I think I said this, but I have plenty of police officer friends. And I don't think I would see any one of them doing what happened in Minnesota. And I also don't think I would see any one of them carrying out orders to go disrupt church services. Here's the thing. I don't care about your skin color. I don't care about where you live. What I do care about is this. You're my fellow American. I have a responsibility to you. I'm going to try to be consistent as I possibly can in all things. Am I going to screw up in that? Yep, I sure am. Am I going to make mistakes? Yep, I sure am. But I'm always going to stand up for what I believe is right. And I'm always going to stand up for freedom, liberty, justice. I hope I said everything in this that I need to say. I am praying for all of you. I'm praying for our country. I am praying for our president. And I really am praying for you. And I am praying for my pastor friends because they're in a tough spot. What do? I say open the doors. I guess that's because I grew up with a man that would not be sitting back and taking this as my dad, my pastor, and my principal. He would not be just sitting back. And I don't think all the pastors are sitting back. But I don't think we're also having the proper conversation of what do we need to do and how do we do this? Do we just open? I think you open your doors and let people make decisions. Because according to HIPAA, no one can ask you why you're not wearing a mask. They passed the law, so they can't ask you. Anyway, I hope this all makes sense. It might not. Love y'all. Praying for you.